If I weren't president, you would either have an obliterated Second Amendment or it would be gone entirely. I am standing between them and your Second Amendment, and that's it. That's it. They know.
There's President Trump promising to protect gun rights as sales surge across the country. Get a load of this number. There are now 5 million new gun owners in America, with 58% of those coming from purchases from African Americans and 40% from women. Here to react is attorney and gun rights activist Colion Noir. Colion, good to have you on the show. Let me start with a very simple question. Why? Why are gun sales booming?
Well, if you think about it, local governments for the longest time have been the security guard of the peaceful neighborhood. It's easy to say that I can keep you safe when nothing is happening. But as soon as things start ratcheting up, you start realizing the limitation of these local governments, and people start noticing it as well. So they start to think to themselves, oh man, I actually am alone when it comes to defending myself. So naturally, people are going to go out and find the best means to protect themselves. And the best means to protect yourself is a firearm in these times.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, it looks like the police aren't there in many situations when it comes to riots and law and order in the streets of many cities, so people go to protect themselves. Explain, 58% of new gun buyers, Black Americans. What's behind those purchases?
I think what's also happening is, I think it's safe to say that the Black demographic and Black people in general have largely voted for Democrats. And what we're starting to see is in the communities where a lot of these protests are happening, they're also starting to realize like they're not holding up to their end of the bargain, and they're not keeping their promises. And so as a result of that, they are also taking their life and their safety into their own hands and going out and getting firearms so that they protect not only themselves, but their communities as well. You saw that a lot when a lot of the rioting started. You saw groups of Black people coming together and actually defending the stores and the industries within their communities from the rioters and the people who were trying to take advantage of some of the actual protests that were going on at the time.
You know, something I've personally experienced, I know many of my friends have, there's an ammo shortage right now. People are having trouble getting hold of ammunition. But I do want to ask you this, Colion. With so many new gun buyers, what do you think the future of any gun control proposals in this country is? Essentially, you would think that has a big impact on whether or not Americans are ready to accept more gun control.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not that hopeful. By and large, because we spent the last decade talking about gun control and how to restrict firearm rights. And I think a lot of people, though they went out and bought firearms, I don't think they understand the political implications of how they vote. And so if a lot of them, and I've talked to a lot of them, they feel like, well, you know, I have my gun. There's really nothing to worry about. No one can come and take it. And I'm like, no, you're wrong.
Really?
If anybody went out and looked at what Joe Biden's proposal is for gun control, it reads like War and Peace. And nothing within that proposal has anything to do with protecting gun rights. It's all about how to restrict it. And I think people need to understand the reality. They've understood the reality of maintaining their safety by getting a firearm. Now I think they need to understand the reality of how they vote. Because the way they vote can affect their ability to own firearms. Because I assure you, if left to his devices, if Joe Biden were in charge, you wouldn't be able to get a firearm.
Yeah, with millions of new gun owners, I would presume that means people more understanding of gun issues, not closing the door behind them once they make their purchase. But that'll be something to watch. Colion Noir, thanks so much for being with us this morning. It's interesting insight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments and even days after you've had to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be scary thinking about the psychological effects, potential jail time, and the court costs associated with the self-defense shooting. I've been there myself, hoping I never have to go through it, which is why I use concealed carry insurance with USCCA. As a USCCA member, you can mitigate, if not completely eliminate, the stress and financial burden of the legal battle you may face after a self-defense shooting. If you want to learn more, click the link in the description where I did a full review of this concealed carry insurance. However, there is a second link in the description where USCCA offers a 365-day money-back guarantee, which lets you try it out for a whole year. And if you don't like it, get all your money back. And to help further spread our two-way message, don't forget to like, share, comment, and hit the bell and subscribe button. Also, if you're wondering where to purchase your AR-15s are essential, I will not comply. I am the militia. I lost all my guns in a boating accident. And your state-specific Keep America tactical shirt, click the link next to my head or the link in the description section. Or if you're watching this on a mobile device, tap the small triangle on the lower right-hand side of this video and click the link in the description.